when you know what it is that you want, your only job is to remain faithful to that. No, it sounds easy, doesn't it? It sounds really easy. But when you finally make a decision, and no matter what obstacle or circumstance is shown to you, you've made the decision. You're never going to give up on it. The universe will, when it's tested you enough, bring your desire to you. Now, I want to share a couple of stories here that I believe will resonate to one or millions of you. And the first one is about it's about myself. So when I was done, when I was beyond done with the corporate world, with the bullish, toxic environment that I was working in, and these unfulfilled jobs that meant nothing to me, that gave me nothing, that I wasn't passionate about, but paid well. When I said no more, I went all in on my business, and it took 11 months for it to take off. And during that 11 months, my savings went down to £1,500 in the bank. I had nobody able to pay my bills for me, no one's other bank account, nobody to support me in the way that I truly needed to be supported. And it felt quite isolating. Nobody got me, nobody could feel me. I had people all over the place being really successful in their businesses. I had started my business before them, and they were reaping the benefits in their business. I wasn't really seeing any movement on my social media platform. And sometimes I felt quite embarrassed. I felt a bit of a failure at times as well. I had people wanting to redo my CV, my resume, so I could get myself a job back in the corporate world, doing what I hated. Those thoughts it was like the fear of God being put into me. It was like going back. I was so scared, but I refused to accept a life full of limitations. I refused to accept these limiting ways of living. I refused to give up. I wobbled a lot, but the one thing I did was I gambled on me. And that gamble changed my life, and it changed how I saw myself. It changed the experiences I had. It changed my self-concept. It changed my belief in myself. It changed my strength. It changed my voice. It changed my trusting in the universe, in the process, in manifesting. It changed my financial wealth. It changed everything because I wasn't going to allow any circumstance or obstacle to stop me. In fact, I remember saying to some people, even if it means I lose everything, I will still keep going, and I will never give up. I will never give up. I made a decision, and then the universe said, okay, then let's see what you got, girl. Let's see how much you really want it. And guess what? As hard as it was, that gamble paid off, and it still pays off. When I made a decision to stop doing my one-to-one coaching sessions, that business model, not just because I was burnt out, but because I just wanted to be free. I didn't want to be a slave to my work anymore. And it didn't mean that I didn't enjoy the one-to-one coaching. I just wasn't aligned to it anymore. I made the decision. And guess what? This time, I couldn't stick to it. It took me 2 years of a very uncomfortable ride, a very uncomfortable journey to finally work out why. And I'm going to go into that. So if you're somebody who makes a decision but cannot stick to it, I'm here to explain exactly why and what you can do so you're no longer feeling like you're living in a roller coaster, going back and forth, so you can finally experience your desire and hold it in your hand for good. Before I go into that, I want to share another story. And this is about the lovely Matthew McConaughey, who basically, he gambled his entire career, his entire acting career, and he came out on top. In fact, I think they call it the $40 million gamble that changed everything. And it's a story I heard a long, long time ago, but I forgot until I saw something on TikTok that reminded me of the power of consistency, of not giving up, of believing in yourself, and that desire that you want to experience, making that one decision. It is the power in sticking to a decision, no matter what is going on out there. So Matthew McConaughey decided that he no longer wanted to be a rom-com actor. He wanted to be taken more seriously as an actor. He wanted depth beyond his current roles. What happened? He was sent script after script after script, $8 million script, $10 million script, $12 million script. I think it was actually the same script, just with increasing offers until the offer came in for a $14.5 million script for an action comedy, and he turned it down. Hollywood apparently didn't want him to change. They liked him in his little cocoon of rom-coms. They loved him in that niche. But he said, no, no more. This is what I want. I'm worthy of this. I believe in me. He even moved away and was planning on changing careers completely because nothing happened. Then the one thing that he never did, he never contradicted the decision, not once. That took 20 months of remaining faithful while all that money was pouring in and saying no again and again and again. And after 20 months, he got the script that he had always wanted. Leading man, Oscar winner, all because he refused to accept the limitations placed on him. He refused to accept that he was only worthy of being a rom-com actor. He refused to accept less than what he wanted, and he walked away from millions, prepared to change his entire life. If it wasn't going to be these types of films that he wanted to work on, he was prepared to not be an actor anymore. That's how strongly he believed in himself. And then Hollywood said one day, and the universe said one day, okay, here we go. Even when it went quiet from a monetary perspective in my business and for clients showing up to one-to-one sessions with me, even though I didn't want that, the reality was pretty scary. The silence scared the living daylights out of me, from having consistency and success for years to suddenly feeling like it was all drying up. Even though I'd asked for it, I wasn't ready. And I was too scared to let it go. So I kept hustling even harder. After I decided I wanted freedom, I wanted passive income, I wanted to create courses. But the hustle got real, very intense for a good, just under 2 years, 18 months, just under 2 years. You know, I had a business coach that cost me a goddamn fortune who didn't deliver what I needed, and even kind of took me down the wrong path. But I was so fearful, I just kept saying yes. And I was working and hustling even harder and struggling even more than I had, you know, even with getting one-to-one clients. And I was exhausted, but I couldn't seem to get that consistency because there was that old version of me holding on to the one-to-ones as a backup plan. And then there was a new version of me desperately wanting freedom to wake up every day, doing what I wanted, where I wanted, being able to do what I want, go where I want, have what I want, be where I want, you know, building courses and workshops with integrity and you know, and mutual benefit and abundance. And my gamble wasn't paying off. I was scared until I understood why. It wasn't that I didn't believe that I could live a free-flowing life of financial abundance. It wasn't that I didn't believe I could have a successful social media platform and a members only channel. I could see it in other people and I wanted it too. It was that I wasn't wired to be able to hold it. My nervous system had been dysregulated. It had been calibrated to hustle and struggle and to only experience inconsistency. I had grown up with the belief that money doesn't grow on trees, that you have to really work hard for everything, that freedom wasn't safe for me. On top of that, there were the judgments of my family, of friends, societal beliefs, the institutional mindset, jealousies and insecurities from others, all of it layered on top of me, making it hard for me to trust that I could have and hold a life of freedom and passive income, that I could have a life that I wanted. And it wasn't until I addressed my inner child and healed the root of these beliefs, peeling back these layers, that I could finally feel safe to receive and hold this abundance consistently, this life of freedom consistently, that the work of the Healed Heart Blueprint brought to me. So through consistency and diligence and persistence daily, and sometimes in bursts, I was rewiring my nervous system. I released old patterns. I nurtured myself with love. I leaned in to my inner children and nurturing them. I learned to be safe, hold in abundance by nurturing them. And now I'm strong, brave, unbreakable. I speak my truth. I walk away from manipulation and toxicity. I maintain calm, clarity, and consistency and freedom. I finally came home to me, not because of money, not because of success, not because of people, but because I had nurtured my inner child and I released the old patterns that were holding me back through them. I am complete. I am enough. I am wholeness. I am love and I am home in myself. And you can claim those below by commenting. The transformations that come from committing to deep inner healing aren't surface level fixes. They are long lasting, life changing, and you'll never look back. The only thing you need to do is remain faithful. Show the universe how much you want it by dedicating to yourself daily and consistently, turning away from the 3D reality of your old beliefs and embodying the version of yourself who can receive your desires fully. So if you're ready to make that decision, if this resonates and you're ready to make that decision, or if you feel like you can't remain faithful to what you truly want, it's likely because your nervous system isn't yet regulated to feel safe enough to hold it. And that's exactly where the Healed Heart Blueprint comes in. So if you want to find out more, then all you need to do is click the link below this video or in my bio, or you can DM me if you have any questions on Instagram, or you can email me at natalie@asthepenniesdrop.com. Matthew McConaughey's proof shows it. When you say no to what you don't want, no matter how long it takes, and that's trust. And when you trust yourself through healing, you create the life you've always desired. And this is exactly what I did with my first business model. And now I'm doing it again with my new business model. Faithfulness to the decision changes everything. No matter how many times people ask me to do one-to-ones for them, for one-to-one coaching sessions with me, the answer is no. I've made my decision. I'm no longer a slave to the old system. That's it. I really hope that this has awoken those that need to be awoken up to what they've been holding on to, for you to finally feel free and safe to receive it all now. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will be back very, very soon.